Welcome to the Misfit One Lifestyles with Elizabeth Colin. She will awaken and connect with your Misfit One. Are you tired of the ups and downs in your life? Are you ready to live a healthy lifestyle once and for all? We are talking about all aspects of your life. Being fit is not just physical, it's also your mind and soul. Learn how to take steps in your life to move towards your goals. Elizabeth's goal is for everyone listening to the sound of her voice to get fit. Let's get focused, let's get intentional, and let's transform. Now here's your host, Elizabeth Colin.
What's going on, everybody? We in here with Misfit One. We are giving you a whole conversation about my experience on the Food Network Canada and the CW's hit baking show, The Great Chocolate Showdown. We're talking about self-care. We're talking about making your passion into a paycheck. That's really the big part of the conversation. Tune in. You do not want to miss it.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Misfit One Lifestyles with your girl, Elizabeth Colin, also known as Misfit One. Listen, I am delighted to have the one and only Vince. Listen, Vince Ashton, I'll give you your full name because, you're probably not just known by just Vince yet, but it will come. How you doing, Vincent?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have so many questions because you are so multi-talented that it is crazy. I mean, I don't have none of those. I can't sing. I can't cook. I mean, you can do all those things. And I'm like, can you help somebody out? Can you one of your talents is one of your talents? Tell the people who you are, Vince. Tell them a little bit of what you do.
Definitely. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on your show on this phenomenal platform and podcast. Very, very honored to be here. So shout out to you for bringing me on. But to answer your question, yes, my name is Vince Ashton, 32 years old, born and raised from Atlanta, Georgia, still living here in the ATL South Side all day. A country boy at heart, Southern boy at heart. You could probably tell from the accent or what have you. I'm an artist and event host, MC. I have a baking company. Cheesecakes is my specialty with that. I also do photography, activist, social media coordinator. I'll tell you this. I believe that your passion is your paycheck. And because you have many passions, that equates to many paychecks. So I am living by that mantra. Hello, somebody.
Hello, I'm here. I hear you. Yeah, you talking to me. Everybody's saying that right now. They all like me. My passion is my paycheck.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, what's so crazy is I believe that with my whole heart. My kids was raised that way, right? I have 3 kids and they all adults, they all grown, but their whole life I had them. Actually, you're 32?
Yes, ma'am.
My oldest child will be 32.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I taught them their whole life is to follow your passion. You will make money in it, right? So my husband now, he raised his kids. They're now grown, 2 grown. We met them, about 9th when they was in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. He taught them to check and see what's making the most money. Mm. And then you go into education for that. And I'm like, no, no, they're going to be miserable. Like so it was so funny to see how that worked in our life. Because they, and what was crazy is my bonus kids now believe wholeheartedly. Now they're grown too. But they came over to me like, no, I'm gonna follow my passion.
Right.
So it's great, and everybody is successful. Everybody doing good. But I love it. Your passion is your paycheck.
Yes, because I feel like when you just operate in your passion, it's a lot easier. Not saying that you aren't going to, encounter any hurdles or obstacles. I think that's inevitable. That's life. But I feel like when you're passionate about it, it's easier for you to persevere through it, you know? And then of course, just reap the awesome manifestations out of something that you feel that you're gifted to do. Yeah.
Right. Because God give you the gifts that you're gonna be able to provide, like for yourself. Period.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That part.
That's what's so funny. And think about it though, Vincent, be honest. When you were little, did people talk about those things, even in a negative or a positive? Like for me, when I was little, I was nothing but hair and mouth. Girl wasn't nothing but hair and big mouth. Guess what? I get paid now to rub my mouth.
Come on. Talk about it. And that's real. That's real.
Seriously, I asked too many questions. I'm this.
I love it. But you know what? I will say for me personally, just going back into just different friends and different relationships that I've had through the years, I can say that I guess that mindset sort of worked for them. But one thing that I'm so blessed to have was a mother that really loosed the reins and allowed me to be creative and allowed me to just jump over here this day, do karate, do soccer, do band, do chorus, do church. Like I was just all over the place. And I think because she allowed me to do that, it definitely catapulted me into this mindset of having several entities, because in the midst of her allowing me to do that, she was still a stickler on being disciplined, time management. And if you're going to commit to all these things, be great at them all, but you definitely have to prioritize them too. And so just learning that from my mom at such a young age and having that transcend into now, like, shout out to her.
Oh, Mom, shout out, Mama. We said thank you very much, because Vincent, I couldn't tell everything you did. That's why I said let him say all that he do. Y'all see what I'm saying? Vincent is so amazing. Let's talk about your cheesecakes first. Let's just go and get it out, because I'm salivating a little bit. And I don't even like cheesecake like that. But we talked about it now. Everybody, I know all of us are like, well, let's just get to the cheesecake first so that we can focus on other things. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love the way you put that. I love it.
Let's just knock it out. So let's talk about your cheese. It's cheesecake.
It's a cheesecake. Yes, ma'am.
It's a cheesecake. How did you start that?
You know what? Shout out to social media for that. So I don't know if y'all remember, it was like maybe 2016 or so when like Facebook and YouTube were doing those 60-second recipe clips, kind of thing, make something real quick or whatever. So I started, it was like the holiday season. I saw this recipe on Facebook. It was like a cookies and cream cheesecake. And I was like, yo, let me try it. I've never baked anything in my life, like never, ever. So I did it. Gave it to the folks during holiday season. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Cool. Okay. Skip around that same time next year, 2017, my friends had a potluck and they were like, yo, everybody cook something. I was going to be lazy and get a Chick-fil-A nugget tray. But they were like, Vince, now you can cook. Out of everybody, you can cook. Don't be trying to cheat.
Steal my stuff, Vince. I bring that. That's what I do. Okay.
Right. Don't be trying to cheat, So I was like, okay. I ended up talking to one of my good friends. He's actually my photographer on the phone that night. I happened to be in Kroger. He was like, yo, Vince, didn't you make some cheesecakes or something last year? I was like, yeah. So I just got some ingredients. And in that moment, I made a peach cobbler cheesecake, a salted caramel macchiato cheesecake, and a white chocolate mixed berry cheesecake. May I mind you, I didn't even look at the recipe from what I utilized a year prior. Did the not the cookout, what is it? Did the potluck? They were like, Vince, you need to go into business. I said, okay. So literally that next month, that month of October, I made 3 new flavors of cheesecakes every week. By the end of October, I had a whole menu, business plan, logo, website. We went into business, and it's basically has been running itself ever since.
It's a cheesecake, baby.
It's a cheesecake. 30 flavors later.
How do we get some cheesecake? Where can we order it? What's going on?
Right. So just follow me on Instagram the company's Instagram is at itsacheesecake.atl. And if you're in Atlanta, we can just make it happen right there. I'm working on shipping and all those other things right now. But right now I'm just trying to, keep it where I can manage it because it has potential to to grow. So yeah, I'm just trying to take
your mama taught you about that. Your mama taught you about time management. Don't be doing too much if you're gonna commit to something.
That part. Work
Well, I
smarter,
tell
not
you
harder.
what, when I'm in Atlanta, I'm definitely gonna come by
Please,
and get some cheesecake. I
please.
don't really eat it, but I'll smell it and taste.
But you know what? Now I have turned a lot of anti-cheesecakers into pro cheesecakers. Okay. Because my cheesecakes are not like the traditional, thick. It's some of the cheesecakes and just have this off-putting texture, when you sort of get into it.
Exactly.
But mine, I'm trying, it's a whole nother level, whole nother swag. It's gonna bless your heart if you let it.
Oh, I'm not gonna block my blessings. I'm not gonna block my blessings. You hear what I'm saying? I'm gonna be that. And y'all don't block your blessings. Either get your butt down there. It's a cheesecake in the best chocolate city ever,
Come on.
ATL, and get you some cheesecake. Listen, you said that you've never baked before. You have been competing. You have been, I mean, on baking, and you said you never, like 5 years ago you started baking, and now you got you doing a contest that's
Yes, ma'am.
on CW. It's called the Great Chocolate Showdown. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Tell us about that.
Whew, that was the way you just even brought it up. It's still literally like mind blowing to hear it, just how it happened to just be really a home baker or an inexperienced baker, if you will, no culinary background, didn't go to school, none of that. And to be casted and considered to be on this phenomenal show again called the Great Chocolate Showdown. It initially premiered on Food Network Canada back in March. And then the CW recently picked it up to premiere on August 11th, which is tonight or whatever. Really excited about that. So with that being said, when I tell you that entire experience was just a roller coaster.
Only imagine.
Highs and lows and curves and sides and just every emotion you think you could tap into, I tapped into. Because it's great moments, you feel rewarded, you're excited, you're competing, and then you're stressed because let me tell you something. We watch a lot of cooking competitions, right?
Yes.
When I tell y'all that time clock is real, like it looks easier sitting on your couch than actually being in the kitchen, because you could go through something and look up and it's like 20 minutes left. And you're like, yo, I just started. It was like an hour ago.
Like, I just prepped my stuff.
Exactly. It moves so fast. But when I tell you, it was one of the most rewarding, most creative experiences, hardworking. The cast, which is now my family, just so multi-dimensional, diverse. Like, I love the entire thing. Phenomenal experience.
That is just so crazy, because to say you were not classically trained as a chef.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Like, how was it with the people that was trained?
Right. You know what?
Did you keep looking over that vent? Did you keep looking at them?
Not at all, because you sort of just have to, that competition, it really makes you learn to trust your intuition. And because you have no choice but to execute, you're really not looking to your left or to your right. You want to make sure that you are presenting the best quality, the best version of whatever is about to be shown on bump national television, international TV, because like we take it off in Canada first before the States even picked it up, So you don't want to look crazy while you're looking at everybody else. To your left,
we will tell right. You. I'm that friend that be like, Vince, did you know you was gonna be on TV? Like,
right.
You know?
Right. But you know what? And even in that, like, you're going to be on TV, but mistakes happen. That's the reality of it. Like, things happen, temperatures change, recipes don't work out like you wish they would have, like the mind glitches, like so much happens in that time for you just to try to pull it all together in an hour, 30 minutes is crazy. But to go back really quickly, one thing that sticks with me to this day is one of the reasons that the casting directors casted me for the show is because of my tenacity. Because when going into the interview process, me just really only having 5 years shy of experience. And of that 5 years, only doing cheesecakes. I never did cookies, never did regular cakes, pies, like nothing like that. So they were like, Vince, this is before Canada. We want to see what you can do. When I tell you I hopped on YouTube University And my kitchen turned into a bakery. I was doing everything under the sun in a week, like baking 3 to 4 different desserts in a week every day.
Wow.
It got real in here because I wanted it. And they were like, Vince, the fact that you want it, you're tenacious, and what you presented looks amazing, pull up.
Pull up. I can't watch. I can't wait to watch because it takes tenacity, first of all, to even say okay when you only been doing cheesecake. Like, hey, I got this. Right. Like, but it showed like my whole platform is fit, right? Mm-hmm. Focus, intentional, and transforming. And boy, did you show the people you focused on it. You got to work. You went on the University of YouTube. You worked hard, but you moved with intention, honey.
Yes, ma'am. I did. Full enrollment.
Transforming yourself. Let me tell you.
That's real. That's so real. Yes, ma'am.
Crazy. I mean, what is so crazy about that is, you know, we always talk about fear and being held back. And I love that your mom instilled that in you. Like, try it, do it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. You know? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she was very just basically like, if it ain't nothing too crazy, go for it. You know?
Right. If it ain't illegal, look, if it ain't hurting you or hurting others, it ain't illegal. Go on, try it out.
That part. And even to this day, like I'm 32 years old and I will call her and she'll be like, oh, what you do now? Oh, what my child did now. Like, it's just, even just how I move, it's like, oh, I did this, or I learned this, or I think I'm going to do this. And it's like, hey, just go for it.
You're right, because that's exactly like when I first made the newspaper, my local newspaper in California. I was so proud of myself. I was like, look, I'm in the paper. So I called my dad and I'm like, Daddy, I'm in the paper. He said, for something good. Because they be knowing. I'm like, no, Daddy was good. Because they are the ones that kind of take that pause.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, what you doing now? Like, is it
right? Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Every one of us has had that. When you all hyped up and your parents are like,
Are you sure?
Because we gonna get it either way, but should I be looking for, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Right. Prepare
let me take the hit for it. Yeah,
right. Exactly. Yes, ma'am. And that's how it went down.
And that's so awesome. You know, you are also an MC.
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, we got the cheesecake off the plate. We ain't thinking about it no more, right? Right. We talked about how he went from not making any kind of baking, any kind of nothing, then started making cheesecakes. Now he's on a national show, The Great Chocolate Showdown on the CW. Cooking, baking, all kind of stuff, not just cakes, but all that. What a spirit that you have to take you from this to that. I love it. Like you said earlier, your passion for your paycheck. And one of your passions is MCing. Aren't you going to be on the OWN network and the Oxygen Cable network?
Yeah, so I actually was already on both of those networks. So here in Atlanta, well, you probably know this, in the South, we're really big with like marching band, ballad bands, drum lines, the dance lines, Bring It, the show Bring It, and all those things. And so basically there were 2 dance competition shows that aired on the OWN network and the Oxygen network that I ended up hosting in real time, live. Here in Atlanta, they basically just picked them up and premiered them on those networks. And I've pretty much been hosting multiple types of events, but I started hosting back in like 2011. And that's another thing that I just sort of was flung into, because beyond the cheesecakes, beyond the hosting and emceeing, my first love is music. I love being an artist. I love performing. I know we'll probably talk about that later, but because of my performance background in artistry, I believe that actually assisted me in being comfortable as a host, just knowing how to work the crowd and, stage interaction, engagement, all those things. So yeah, I've been hosting for about 10 years now, and it's just leveling up and getting some great, leg room in that too. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
I wish y'all could see his hand leveling up, leveling up. He like stacking one hand on top of the other. And I like that. Leveling up, leveling up, leveling up.
Rex on Rex. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is true, and I bet you if you ask your mom, you was doing that way before that too. As a kid, you was the MC. You the one kept the people engaged. You was the one who helped, right? That ain't nothing new.
Nothing new. Nothing new at all. Being the child at the family reunion, the child at everything. Oh, well, what is he doing? Y'all watching? He on top of the table.
Take the mic from him. Sit down.
Yes, that was me. That was me all day.
Wait, I got one more thing to say. No.
Exactly. And now, like you said, you're getting paid for it. We getting paid for it.
Thank you. Passion to paycheck.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what we're talking about. Passion to paycheck. Ma'am. And what's crazy is you mentioned this, that your first love is your music. And that's what I was saving that for last, because I see your smile when you said music. You just lit up your whole face. You just vibrated on a whole nother level when you said something about music. You have a new music coming out soon, right?
Coming out soon. Yes, ma'am. We are looking at September. We're about to start gearing everything up to do all the, the photo shoots and the video shoots and everything. So basically, the idea is I've never released music for streaming services. I've only done stuff on SoundCloud. And so I pretty much decided to take my top 3 songs off of my SoundCloud page, remix them, remaster them, put some investment and some good artwork and just good creativity into them, bring them to life. And then I'll be re-releasing, quote unquote, those to streaming services come September. And then the full album will come 2023, definitely.
Wow. So tell us, what is your genre? What is it?
You know what? I am R&B and soul all day, every day. Now, of course, we grew up in the church singing for the Lord. We love the Lord. He heard my cry. So they ain't never going to depart from that. Never going to depart from that at all. But I love R&B music. I love soul. I love the melody. I love singers and songs that make you feel, the words, that make you feel the passion in the vocals, the passion in the lyrics and in the melodies. Like it for me, like R&B music, it automatically makes you go back to where you were, like when you first heard that song or whatever situation or relationship you were in. Like it makes you inevitably touch back into that moment. And that's what I want my music to do.
Wow. Can you give us a little bit of something?
Oh, a little bit of something.
Come on, just sing a little something. I'm putting you on the spot, but I know we all want to hear.
Okay. I will never find another lover much sweeter than you, sweeter than you. And I will never find another lover more precious than you, more precious than you. Girl, you are close to me than like my brother, close to me than like my father, close to me than like my sister, close to me than like my mother. You are the only one in my everything. And to you this song I sing. And all my life I pray for someone like you. And I thank God, that I finally found you. And all my life I pray for someone like you. And I hope that you feel the same way too. Yes, I pray that you too love me too.
Yes, everybody is like, we do. We feel the same way. The Lord was speaking to me. I say yes. Isn't that funny how you are not lying? That's exactly what we want. I got goosebumps. That is
Oh,
just
wow.
awesome. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I
Thank you.
love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. I
I
appreciate
am
that.
so excited. You have so many things going on. Like, you are someone that so many people, young people and old heads, can look at and see that you don't have to limit yourself to one thing.
Mm.
And can you give us 3 tips? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 of how to move towards your passion.
3 tips on how to move towards your passion. I would say tip number 1, be honest with yourself. I think a lot of times in life, we can get into the machine of the industry, the machine of the 9 to 5, and we just utilize escapism from our passion and say, well, I got to provide, or I need to do this. And you just sort of null and void the first thing that you love to do as soon as you wake up. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, hey, I love to bake. Hey, I love to write. Hey, I love to do fitness, whatever those things is. Once you sort of accept that honesty of your passion, I think you then move into, so what does that look like? How do I execute it? Okay. And so that's, I think tip number 2 is just creating a storyboard or a business plan, or just writing ideas down, just writing stuff down. It doesn't have to be, it can be as elaborate or as simple as you like it. But I think you need something on paper. I'm a visual person, because it's easy to have everything in your head. But when you see it on the mirror, when you see it on the back of the door, it's like, oh, okay. It's always, a little check and balance type of system. And then tip number 3, once you sort of, write it out, there it is, illustrate it. Once you illustrate your passion,
there it is.
Once you illustrate your passion, then it's time for execution. Okay. Time for execution. Now, this is the thing with execute. I have learned to give myself grace. Everything isn't going to happen overnight. Sometimes it will happen overnight. You may be an overnight success, and that's wonderful. If it doesn't happen that first time, it's okay. It's okay. Take your time. Celebrate those incremental success moments. Celebrate the longevity of it, whatever that looks like. Give yourself grace in the execution, okay? And just be smart about it. I'm a very avid person in working smarter, not harder. We ain't about to put no square into a triangle. We ain't about to do that. Okay?
You're not gonna do it.
We ain't about to do that. If it don't make sense, let's go back to the drawing board and see what does make sense. Okay.
Right,
Work smarter, not harder in the midst of you executing. So what did I say? Be honest about your passion, illustrate your passion, and execute it. And in the execution, give yourself grace.
Bam.
Come on.
Listen, you guys, I hope you had your pen handy, because that right there is worth your money in this podcast. You understand what I'm saying?
Cash at me now.
Cash at me. Run me that money, because you can make that money, because you can follow your passion. Vincent is a perfect example of, you can do it. You can. Don't limit yourself, and you don't have to be stuck to one thing. You can do it. Now, listen, before I wrap this all up, you cannot leave without me asking you this.
Okay.
How do you start your day? And 2, what does your self-care look like?
How do I start my day, and what does my self-care look like? I start my day in reflecting. I like to sit in silence. Like, I like to just sort of breathe and just sort of assess the day. And also not assess, in addition to assessing the day, just being grateful, just waking up grateful to wake up. And I know a lot of times people say that, but it's real over here, especially the times that we live in. Like, we got to be extremely grateful to
Every
be
day.
succeeding and moving and prospering and thriving and just being alive in the season of the world right now. So just being grateful, assessing my day, thanking God. Then of course, wake up, brush your teeth, take care of all the hygiene. That's extremely
And he got some
essential.
real pretty teeth, y'all. That smile, like, yes.
Got to. I love my smile, so you got all the toothpaste, all the floss. Make it happen, okay? Make sure the breath is fresh. Hello, somebody. Right. Right. And then yeah. And I just pretty much go from there. Just prayer, gratitude. I love just music, like worship music in the morning, or just something that's cleansing to the mind. I don't like to wake up in a lot of ruckus. I'm not one. I love my trap music, Atlanta all day, but I ain't jumping up, waking up to Migos. Like my brain. Like I need some. Put on some NDRE. Come on, we gotta ease our way on into
By the nighttime, by that 4, 3, yeah,
right,
I'm ready.
We going in. We going in.
Right.
So exactly.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so funny. That is so true. And that's a lot of times that's self-care in itself, right?
Yeah. And even to that self-care question, I've been, man, when I tell you, I have been preaching this to my friends, invest in rest. You got to invest in rest, especially doing all these entities and passions that I may have, that I do have, or what have you. When I tell you I am a master at saying no and shutting down and taking my butt and getting a massage, going to sleep, taking a nap, like whatever rest looks like in your world for you to feel rejuvenated, invest in that. Go on vacations. One of my coworkers, I love her. On her desk, she has this sign: "You only live once. Buy the ticket." Go on that vacation.
Baby.
Invest in rest, mental rest, spiritual rest. Refuel yourself. Get in those podcasts, those sermons, whatever it is, to make sure that because we're always constantly pouring out. Especially in our field, right? We're giving interviews, asking, conversation. And then at the end of the day, when it's 10 o'clock, you're like, I'm excited. Who's going to refill into me? You got to find that for yourself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. I said, I need a wife like my husband. My husband got a great, I need one. I need a wife like my husband. My friends are like, yes.
I love it. Invest in rest. And I love vitamins. I am echinacea, elderberry, turmeric. Let me tell you, it bump a medicine cabinet. I got herbal vitamin shop in my cabinet. I got
You sound like, I love your accent. I love it. But when you say elderberry, it's so funny. I love
all of that.
Say, I got it.
And water.
That H2O is no joke. They always say milk does your body good, but water does your body better. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. I agree. Water. Especially as a singer, like water is like gas to a car for singers. Like the less water you have, the crazier your vocals and dry, all that stuff will happen. So yeah, I am watered down.
I'm well hydrated. Well hydrated. Listen, Vincent, you are just so awesome. How can we stay connected with you?
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I am Vince Ashton on all social media platforms. VinceAshton. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm pretty much on Instagram and Facebook. So, find me on there, hit me up. The cheesecakes, it's a cheesecake.atl. My photography, everydayashton.atl. So yeah, you just follow me and I follow back. Yes, ma'am.
That is awesome. Listen, you are simply amazing, my dear. And I am so honored to have met you. You definitely have a new fan in me. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be following. I'm going to be listening. So, kudos to you. Before I wrap it up, do you have anything else you want to say? You want to drop anything else off to the people?
I don't know. I think this was a well-fed conversation. I just think just in everything that we discussed, and shout out to you for this amazing platform and just your vision and your dream manifesting and being executed in your team. So I'm very thankful for you allowing me to be a part of this. And I just pray nothing but the best for you and just crazy elevation and whatever your heart's desires are, whatever platforms, whatever that looks like in your world. I just pray double for you. And you just walk in that abundance of it and rest in it too. Rest in it too as well. So yeah, y'all just implement everything we talked about.
That's it. We gave you all you need, right? That we just saved the whole world problem. Right. And this there right here. You guys, till next week, live fit. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Misfit One Lifestyles. Listen, when you are fed up and sick and tired of living this stifled, overwhelmed, and overstressed life, and you're ready to live the fullest, richest, and healthiest life by gaining more confidence, more energy, and more clarity, living in your best self, you know what to do, right? Go ahead, go to my website, misfit1.com. Sign up for our online courses, Creating Healthy Habits, so that you too can live fit, focus, move with intention, and transform your life.